as well. So for today, I thought I would show you 5 ways to use black cardstock. A lot of us have that cardstock in our stash, and I thought it would be fun to create a few different ways you can use that black cardstock. So let's get to it. All right, so first up, we've got the chalkboard technique. Most of y'all have probably heard of this, but if not, here you go. It's a piece of black cardstock and some white pigment ink, any kind, any brand you've got, but pigment ink will work best for this. And I'm just blending it on with a blending brush here. There's tons of blending brushes on the markets. I have used the Amazon blending brushes, and I have a video right up here on the right, in the top right, if you want to click on it, if you're looking for some inexpensive makeup brushes that can work as blending brushes. The one I'm using in today's video is actually from the Stamp Market. And then once I blend on and by the way, I use that because it was within reach. I don't think there are any bad blending brushes on the market, FYI. All right, moving on. So I did dry that before I moved on to the next step because pigment ink sits on top of the paper longer, so it takes longer for it to dry. I am using, this is actually a Christmas stamp set. So if you guys have Christmas or holidays stamps in your stash, you might be able to look at them and come up with other ways to use them. So I thought it would be fun to put these little animals on this chalkboard background. You can use chalkboard for teacher cards, for pretty much anything you want. I am using an embossing static tool. It's just a little baggie filled with, I think it's baby powder. I'm not 100% sure, but it sure smells like it. And that way it just keeps my embossing powder from sticking where I don't want it. I inked up those images with the same white ink I used, which is from scrapbook.com. And I'm using my MISTI because I want really good placement. And if I didn't get a good stamped impression the first time, the MISTI would help me get that second impression exactly where it needs to be. And then I will use the same embossing powder and heat set it. I'm using the Wow dual speed embossing gun. It's the only embossing gun I have now because I like that it's got 2 speeds, one setting for watercolor drying and one for heat embossing. Then I'm going to clean off my stamps here and then move on. I tend to clean as I go. Otherwise, I get ink smudges all over my cards, and it's just, no. Who wants that? Who wants to put all that effort into making a card and then get your fingerprint on it? You know what I'm saying? All right, so I went ahead and stamped some of the images from that same stamp set. All the supplies I'm using are linked below in the YouTube description for you. And I'll heat emboss that and then color them with I have some Nuvo Aqua Flow pens here, and I'm just doing very quick watercoloring. So while this is happening, let me talk to you about the Save the Crafty YouTuber hop. It's a video hop, so I will be linking to the next person on the hop right down in the description below. So be sure to take a look at that. There are lots of prizes at each of the individuals' hops. My prize today that I'm offering up is a $25 gift certificate to Ellen Hutson. It's international, USA, it's open to anyone. There are no restrictions. Each hopper will have different prizes, so make sure that you check out their videos as well and see what's offering. So there's quite a few people on this hop. Take your time watching it. You don't need to binge watch all at one time, but if you're housebound, which most of the world is, maybe you've got nothing but time on your hands. I don't know. I'm pretty much losing my mind. But anyway, moving on. You have until April the 5th to leave comments on all the hops. It's absolutely not required. You don't have to comment or anything, but obviously the more comments you leave, the more chance you have of winning something. Comments are due by the 5th and prizes will be drawn on the 10th. All this information is down in the description below. And yeah. All right, moving on. I've got all my things nice and colored. I had waited and made sure they're dry. No, I didn't wait. I probably zapped it with my heat tool because I have zero patience whatsoever. I'm going to take the coordinating dies here, and I'm using the purple tape from Thermoweb to secure my dies in place. And then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. The one I use most of the time is my Gemini Junior. It's electronic, and that's why you never really see it on my channel because it's plugged into the wall and it's heavy to move, but you push a button and you crank it through and it cuts like butter. However, today I'm using this little tiny die cutting machine from Altenew. I reach for this when I have just a few smaller images to die cut. I leave it in my Rascog, and it cuts really great. Why not? So I've gone ahead. You can see how easily it cut through those dies, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of pop out the pieces, and then we're going to adhere this down. Now this is a glue that I've been trying out for about a month or so. It's from a company called Barely Art, and they sent me this glue to try, and I didn't want to mention it on my channel until I tried it. It's a fantastic. It dries clear. It has a precision tip at the end. I keep a little pin that they provide you in the nozzle, so there's no clogging or anything like that, and I really, really like it. So I decided, hey, it's time to talk about it. I've actually got 5 giveaways for you for this glue, courtesy of Barely Art. This is completely separate from the Save the Crafty YouTuber prize. So I'm going to choose 5 people from the comments to win this glue, and the 5 people that I select, I'll notify via email. So make sure you leave a way for me to contact you. And again, separate from the prize, the Ellen Hutson gift certificate as part of the Save the Crafty YouTuber. I'm just plugging this in because I really, truly enjoy this glue. It's fantastic. And this is the completed card with the chalkboard background. So that's way number 1 on how you can use your black cardstock. Let's move on to the second way, distress oxides. Distress oxides work great on colored cardstock. The darker, the better to me. So I'm taking 2 different shades of the oxides, and I am stamping this kaleidoscope background from Catherine Pooler. Again, all the supplies, if it's something you're interested in checking out, are linked below in the YouTube description for you. I am just stamping on or inking up this background with 2 different colors. I spritzed it very gently with water, and then I am pressing my cardstock onto the stamp. This is some kind of printer tool. It's a Baron I got off of Amazon, and it just makes sure that I get good even pressure there. And check that out. And then I'm going to get a second image here just by inking up a little bit more, spraying it with some plain Jane H2O, baby. And I'll get a second print here. So I'll get 2 cards from 1 stamp. And I just love how bright the background is. You could stamp a whole bunch of backgrounds and just leave them for later and assemble your cards. I added a flower from Altenew, and this card was done. So love distress oxides on black cardstock. Moving on to number 3, colored cardstock background. This is almost just a no-brainer, but I'm going to take this super fun cover plate die from Catherine Pooler, and I ran that through my Gemini Junior, and then I'm going to use this awesome glue. I feel like I'm like pimping out this glue, but it really is awesome, and you get a lot of it, and the refill is in the shape of a bear. I mean, seriously, hello. So it goes on white, dries completely clear. So I went ahead and added little dots here and there on this background. And because it dries clear, if any oozes out the sides, no big deal. You'll never see it. And then I'm going to put it on a colored background base. And that is it. So you've got your black cardstock that you used as a die cut panel, and you mounted it to a colored base. Wada bang, wada boom, right? Moving on to number 4, heat embossed. That's probably a no-brainer, but we're rolling with it. I love this background stamp, also from Catherine. It's from her latest release. It's like lemons, and it's just so much fun. So anytime I heat emboss, I'm always using that anti-static tool. I just am. I don't want embossing powder all over the place. Inking that up with the scrapbook.com white pigment ink, and then I am going to press my cardstock onto my stamp. This is the way that I stamp backgrounds. You can obviously press your stamp onto the cardstock, whatever floats your boat. Doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to press that down in there, make sure I get good coverage there. I should have pulled out my Baron. I don't know why I didn't, but wada bang. So look how pretty that is. So I'll just sprinkle on some white embossing powder, and then you can leave it as is. That's it. That's done. Heat emboss the background on that black cardstock. You can use color embossing powder if you want, but there's something about white and black that just speaks to me. Typically, the embossing powders I use are super fine milled embossing powders. I feel like they stick better, but Wow has a great selection, Wow Embossing. If you're looking for embossing powders, try Wow. They've got so many different colors and mixtures and it's formulations. It's just fantastic. So once I get this good and dry, heat set, not dry, heat set, you can leave it as is, right? And there you go, you've got way number 4. But let's go a step further and go to way number 5, and that is metallic watercoloring on black cardstock. So I've gone ahead and heat set this. Again, boom, leave it, slap on a sentiment or a die cut, you're done. But let's do some metallic watercoloring. I'm using these from Altenew. These are fairly new. I feel like they were released in the last couple of months. And this black cardstock is not watercolor cardstock. It's just black cardstock. This is the Pitch Black from Hero Arts. It's like the blackest cardstock I can find. Gina K also has a good black cardstock. And I'm just painting on these metallic watercolors, just here and there. I don't know what all these fruits are. I think those are lemons, whatever. I'll color them whatever color floats my boat. Obviously, the more pigmented that you put down on black cardstock, the more it's going to show up. And because I heat emboss this, all of the paint that I'm putting over the images, the heat embossed areas will resist it. So I'll wipe it clean once it's done, and all the white will just be shining through for that background image, and then the metallic watercolors are just going to look so pretty once you're done. And what's awesome is you don't need specialty expensive watercolored cardstock to use with these watercolors. You just don't. I had no pilling, no nothing. It was fantastic. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some formulation with the metallics in these watercolors that make it to where you can use regular black cardstock, but I don't care. I was super stoked. I didn't have to go and use my expensive watercolor cardstock. So here I am just painting and just having a good old time. Now, what can we talk about why I finished painting this? Housebound. It's been a week. And I'm going on lots of walks with my kids. It's not so bad. I'm kind of a homebody, but when you have a house full of people and kids that aren't homebodies and that normally are in school, it gets a bit much. I'm running out of things to do. And, I've been doing a lot of Target order deliveries, not deliveries, to where you can drive up in your car and they bring it out to your car. I've been doing that and getting puzzles, and I kind of am spacing it out so I have a reason to drive around in my car just to get out of my out of my house. The toilet paper shortage is insane, but I was always a subscribe and save member on Amazon, so I actually had gotten 2 orders by accident a couple of months ago of my toilet paper, so I was already overstocked, so I didn't have to rush out and try to fight people over toilet paper. I already had my, hand sanitizer. Luckily, I already had this stuff is what I'm trying to say, and I didn't have to go fight people for it. I've been watching videos of people decking each other over the toilet paper. It's such a sad state, and the food is gone. I mean, it's just insane. It's insane everywhere. I don't know where you are, but hugs, prayers, thoughts, we're all going through it, and we'll get through it. We just have to. And this will be a memory that we can share with everyone. So here's a look at that finished card with that beautifully colored metallic background. Now, I think the title of this video is 5 ways to use black cardstock. Wrong. It's 6 ways. 6 ways. Here's a little bonus because I'm too lazy to go and edit my graphic. So it's a little bonus, and it's monochromatic. This is almost a no-brainer, if you will, but it's really fun. You don't always have to add color when using embossing ink. Sometimes you just use the embossing ink and leave it as is, emboss in clear or emboss in the color of whatever the cardstock that you're using. This case, I'm using the Wow embossing pad, and I love the refill here. It's a roller ball, so no squeezing little bottles of ink refill and hurting your fingers. So I want my pad good and juicy. I will ink that up with the embossing ink, and then I will press my already prepped cardstock with that powder, that anti-static tool thing, and I'll just press this on here. I love this crafting community because they've really stepped up. Yesterday, I participated in a World of Heart, an event that was actually already created a month or 2 ago before all this happened, and it was a live crafting event. And there's another one next Saturday. I've got my video linked up right here on the right-hand side. You can go to that and see all the information. But it is so much fun. It definitely was a time passer, and it gave us all something to do. And I was so happy to be a part of that. So I just inked this up. I am sprinkling on black embossing powder because my cardstock is black. And then I will heat set that, and bada bang. So if you're using other colored cardstock, you can either heat emboss in clear, and that will make your monochromatic background, right? You don't always have to add some color. You don't always have to be wild and crazy. There's just something about this black on black that just rocks my world. So I'm going to heat set that again, and that's going to be this background. I had some previously watercolored flowers Sometimes I just sit down and binge watch something on Netflix, and I just make a bunch of backgrounds or watercolor a bunch of flowers. So I actually had some flowers already on standby, which made pulling this card together very easy. And I also do a lot of word die cutting at one time, and I keep them in a coffee mug. So I had that congratulations there. So I just was able to whip up this card in just a few seconds. So there you have it. 6 ways, not 5, 6 ways to use your black cardstock. I hope this gave you some inspiration and ideas. Be sure to check the description below to see who's next on the hop. Comment, comment, comment. Prizes are all over the place. And don't forget, I do have 5 giveaways for that fun glue that I'm using. So that's totally separate from the Save the YouTuber prize. But I love it so much, it was time that I share it. So thanks so much for watching. Hop on to the next person, and I will see you again real soon.